The next test in the FMS is the active straight leg raise. We can definitely cue you on this one because no matter what we tell you in this particular exercise, if you do not have the flexibility necessary through your hamstrings, you're not going to be able to score higher just because we told you what to do. I've always said to many of our athletes, the hip flexor on one side of the body is a friend of the hamstring on the other side of the body. They naturally work together and compensate for each other. So if your hamstrings are tight, your hip flexor on one side is going to favor and it's going to work for it, work in favor of it. One thing that we're looking at when you're in the active straight leg raise, the reason we have you put your ankles in the position that we do, what we call dorsiflexion, where you're pulling the toes up towards the knee, is because it becomes harder for your hip flexors and hamstrings to work together. So even if I tell you, keep your legs straight and raise it as high as you can, if my hamstrings are tight, my opposite toe is going to come out just a little bit. So that's part of what we're looking at. Even if you can get your leg and raise it up past the pole that we have next to the midpoint of your femur or middle part of your upper leg, the toe of the ground-based leg may open up, and that opens up your hip. We're also looking at that, and we're also looking at whether or not you can keep the leg that you're raising straight. Okay? If you have bend in it and you still get it past the pole, that affects your score because we're looking at the flexibility of the hamstring and the mobility of the hip. Okay, so both legs are being watched here in this particular activity. It seems to be quick, seems to be easy, but there are a couple things that we're focusing on that you may not be aware of. So we need to work on the flexibility of our hamstrings, which is very important.